Oh, hi there. Welcome to Teika's Kitchen. Get ready to tantalize your taste buds.
On today's menu, we're serving up a classic 3-cheese beef lasagna. Now, before we jump into the ingredients, let's take a moment to tantalize your taste buds. Look at that chunk, guys. Alright, now we're using lean ground beef. This is about 70 to 30% fat. We're also going to use coconut oil, mozzarella cheese, ricotta cheese, cottage cheese, an egg, lasagna pasta, tomato sauce flavored with basil, garlic, and oregano, salt, a little browning, onion powder, garlic powder, steak seasoning, parsley flakes, ground allspice, which is ground pimento berries, cayenne pepper, and Maggi all-purpose seasoning. Now, to help us lock in the flavors, we're going to use some garlic cloves and green onions, right? And there we are, smashing the garlic cloves away to release the essential oils and also to get them ready for mincing, right? Or we could say brunoise, which is a French term for finest dice, right? And there we are, dicing away. All right, and nice and fine. To the plate they go, and we move on to the next herb. And we're going to give this the same treatment, right? And we're cutting it to get the nice dices. Going ahead with the other piece as well. Alright. Nice and fine, guys. And then we're going to do the scallion or the green onion. Whichever you choose to say. Alright? Alright. Now, some of these slices will be reserved for our garnishing purpose, right? Alright, and there we are, packing them away, and it's time to move on to the ground beef. Now, to this ground beef, we're just going to pat it with some vinegar to clean it a bit, right? Alright, and then we're breaking it apart. It's a little icy, so we're just breaking it down, so that the seasoning can work its magic effectively. Now we're kicking things off by adding some all-purpose seasoning, steak seasoning, ground allspice, onion powder, garlic powder, cayenne pepper, parsley flakes, and also half of the green onion and garlic, right? Now we're going to reserve the rest for saute purpose. Now we're just giving this a nice massage. We did hit it with additional all-purpose seasoning and a splash of browning, probably about 1/8 teaspoon. And we're going to just mix the combine and massage the seasoning inside the beef. Now we're going to allow this to marinate, and while we're doing that, we're getting our water ready for the lasagna pasta. Now we always talk about layers of flavors, so we're going to jazz up this water a bit. So after we add the salt, we're going to add some garlic powder, onion powder, and also some oil to prevent the pasta from sticking together, right? We'll also hit it with some freshly ground Italian seasoning. Now, what is pasta without a little Italian seasoning, right? I mean, it is from Italy, so we have to show homage, right? Whenever we're preparing pasta, trust me, when you hit it with that Italian seasoning, guys, mwah, chef kiss. Now, while we're waiting for our water to boil, we're going to go ahead and get our tomato sauce ready. Now, this tomato sauce is already flavored with garlic, basil, and oregano. So delicious, right? And we're removing them from the tin and putting them into the bowl too, so that when we're ready to use them, they're already there, right? Now we're going to go ahead to make our cheese sauce, and to this cheese sauce we are adding an egg. Now in this case, the egg will serve as a binding purpose to prevent the cheese. So we're using soft cheeses, which is the ricotta and the cottage cheese, just for a smoother texture and help them to hold together, right? And in go with the ricotta cheese. We're just giving it a nice mix to get it nice and spready and ready. All right, and there we go in with the cottage cheese. Be sure that if you're using these type of cheeses to use the reduced fat or low fat ones, right? And there we are adding the egg. We did add a little toops of probably about 1/8 teaspoon of all-purpose seasoning to the egg, right? It is optional, you don't have to. And here we're going to go in with some mozzarella cheese. Now 3 cups of mozzarella cheese to this mixture is ideal to get it nice and cheesy, right? Now it's time to go in with our lasagna pasta because the water is boiling. Now to get them done quick and easy, we can just give them a swirl motion for them to go in nice and fast, right? To be submerged into the water. Now while that is going, we're going to bring it to a boil, and meanwhile guys, we're going to go ahead
garlic
and saute onions to release the flavor. So we're going to saute until translucent, right? And then we're going to go in with the ground beef. So give that a nice good stir, let it keep going. If you have thyme as well, you can also add it for additional boost of flavor. And there we are, going in with the seasoned ground beef. Now I like to season my ground beef before I add it to the pot because I feel like it is more flavorful. You get a chance to soak up all that seasoning before it is added to the heat, right? Now as you cook, you will realize that the color changes, so it starts to turn brown. Now unlike seafood, when you're cooking it, it changes to red. When we're cooking meat, it changes from red to brown, right? And that browning that is taking place here is just an evidence that our cooking process is going along the way, right? All right, and there we go, giving it a good stir, just as when you're making, like for instance, cornmeal porridge, or you're cooking any item that have starch grains, you have to keep on stirring. Starch granules rather. So like if it's oatmeal, cornmeal, or so forth, or creamy wheat, you know how we have to stir constantly, right? And with the ground beef, it's the same principle. We have to stir it. Or if you're cooking grits, we have to stir it, guys, so that it doesn't clump together. We want it nice and fine, so we have to stir regularly. And then after a few moments, we're going to strain it off. And we're going to go in with our basil, oregano, and garlic flavored tomato sauce. All right, and there we are, stirring to combine. Now we're going to allow this to simmer for about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, and there we go. On low flame, we allow it to simmer, give it a good stir so all that tomato sauce can marry so well into that ground beef, right? Now, we're going to hit it with a little Scotch bonnet pepper and also some Italian seasoning, and we're going to let this go for like a minute more to develop the complex flavors. All right. And there we are, we have our cooked lasagna pasta, the cheese sauce, and also the ground beef. And now it's time to assemble. We're going to start with some meat sauce at the bottom of our Pyrex dish. All right, and we're spreading it evenly. Now the reason for this is to prevent your lasagna from being dry and also from sticking to the bottom, and also to ensure that we're having moderate heating process, because you do know that cheese doesn't like a lot of heat, right? Now we have topped the bottom layer of the meat sauce with the lasagna pasta, followed by another layer of the meat sauce, right? And we're just going to spread this evenly to ensure that when you take a bite of your lasagna, you will get a bite of each layer in that single bite. Now we're spreading the cheese sauce, and there we are, spreading it, ensuring that we get it evenly as well, followed by some mozzarella cheese. Now, even though classic lasagna has mozzarella cheese as a shredded cheese, if you're a cheesy person, guys, you can go with whatever cheese you want at this stage, whether it be pepper jack, cheddar cheese, whatever it is. You can go and add the type of cheese you want at that process, right? Now we have topped with some more lasagna pasta, right? And then we are adding another layer of the meat sauce. So what we're doing here is just repeating the process until all our ingredients are finished, right? And there we are with some additional cheese sauce. So remember, the cheeses that we use are ricotta cheese, cottage cheese, and mozzarella cheese. And there we are, spreading mozzarella cheese, followed by the lasagna pasta, right? Top with some meat sauce again, right? Because we're layering, right? And each layer, you have to ensure that you spread each component adequately so that you can get the perfect bite of your lasagna, right? All right, spreading it all out. There we go. And then we're done with our meat sauce at this stage. All right, and then we're moving in with our final layer of the meat and cheese sauce together. All right, and there we are, giving it a good spread to get it all around our lasagna, right, guys? All right, and the final layer we have here now, we are going to add the remaining cheese sauce. And at this stage as well, you can go wild with whatever cheese that you wish, right? And we're spreading evenly. All right, and there we go, spreading away. All right, guys, nice and smooth. And then we're going to top this with our remaining mozzarella cheese. Now it's nice to use 3 cups of mozzarella cheese to the cheese sauce and leave 1 cup remaining for your sprinkling purposes. We did go in with a little cheddar cheese to add a little interest, a little color, little complexity as well. We sprinkled with some parsley flakes, some paprika, and also we're going to add some breadcrumbs to this to get our top nice and crunchy, right? And this is what we're looking like before we go into the oven. Isn't it looking beautiful? Oh my gosh. So we're going to cover and bake this for about 30 minutes thereabouts. Those are the layers, guys. Look at it. Yes. So we're going to bake it in the oven for about 30 minutes. After 30 minutes, this is what it looks like. We remove the foil for the top to be browned up a little, right? So we want Maillard reaction to take place, and voila, there it is, our 3 cheese lasagna. Now, don't you want a chunk? Isn't it tantalizing your taste buds? Are you a fan of lasagna? Well, if so, make sure you give this a try and let me know how it goes in the comments section below. And it's time, guys, to serve up a piece. So there we are, cutting it to get it out. Now, before you cut your lasagna, it is best to allow it to rest for it to set. Now, when it cools, all the cheeses will come together to give you a nice slice. All right, and that's what we're looking like after we have served up a plate with some garlic bread. All right, and there we are. If you haven't subscribed, please remember to do so, and also like the video, give it a share. Remember to put your comment section in the comment section to tell me how it went if you tried it. All right, and if you want to see a particular dish Also, you can leave it in the comment section. All right, now let me be quiet so that your taste buds can be tantalized. Enjoy.